Hello, I'm in America at the moment, and when I first arrived I saw someone with a bag, and on that bag it said, "Scare yourself today." And that made me reflect that in my working life I haven't scared myself enough probably, and as a result I haven't developed as quickly as I could have done. So I thought, what needs to be in place for that to happen? And I think there's four things. You need to have a plan. Your plan needs to be adaptable and achievable. It also needs to be workable. It needs to be based on objective evidence, and you need support. So you need pause, just like the pause you're going to see later on with the bears. Anyway, for the moment, in the background is Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens is in Washington State, USA, and it erupted in May 1980. The eruption was the size of 1,500 atomic bombs and was therefore huge. Now there was one guy called Harry Truman who refused to leave his property. I'm not sure whether he wanted to scare himself, but he died unfortunately, and there was a situation where there was lots of objective evidence that he shouldn't stay there, so he should have gone, but he unfortunately perished. Anyway, the first bit of video I want to show you is about when I was in Glacier National Park and I was walking across some snow in Logan Pass, and I found it fairly frightening. Just have a look at the video. Now, this scared me. This really scared me. You can see two people there walking across this ice and snow, and believe you me, if you slip, there's nowhere to go really, apart from right down to the bottom of there. And I've been down there, it's very beautiful, and it looks beautiful from up here, but the walk's been a bit scary. Okay, a lot scary. But it's about calculated risks, as I say, and thankfully I had these with me, my two poles, which I wouldn't have done it without them, but there are people doing it without them. But there you go. So another example. Take a risk, scare yourself, but make sure you've got a contingency in place. Make sure you've got some support. So you'll see from that I had a plan. I believed that it was achievable. How did I make sure it was workable? It was based on objectivity. I actually asked the rangers how many people had died or got seriously injured this year walking that path, and they said none. So that was enough for me to think to myself, well, why is it going to happen to me? So that was my objective evidence that it was good to go. And in terms of support, you'll see that I pointed to my poles. So I had all four aspects in place. Now let's look at another piece of video. This one is when I came across a moose on a path. Just ahead of me, some moose. Just see it there. I can't really go any closer. These things actually kill more people than grizzly bears in the park. So it's about 20 metres away. I really don't want to be getting any closer, but I'm not sure how to get past it. Anyway, I'm going to back off now because it keeps looking at me and it's sort of growling a bit. Now, as you'll see from that, the path was fairly narrow, and I had a plan to go along the path. It was achievable, but I needed to adapt my plan because it certainly wasn't achievable while the moose was there. And I had no support, and they are a little bit temperamental, those moose, so I just got rid of my plan for that moment because it would have been too silly, too risky to carry on. So I abandoned that plan at that time. And in the working environment, if you think that it's getting to a point where your plan is not going to work, for whatever reason, it is absolutely fine to abandon it, because you should only be scaring yourself enough so that you can actually make some development and test yourself a little bit. My final piece of video is about the bear and the bear cub, and I hope you find this a little bit funny in terms of what happened when I realised there was a cub with this bear. Anyway, have a look at the video. And what we have here is a bear, and this bear just happens to be on the path I want to go on. Oh, see that? Now there's a little, oh, it's a mummy and a cub. Oh my goodness. It's a mummy and a cub. So there you have it. In terms of, I had a plan to go past that bear because I knew somebody else had just been past it, but as soon as I saw there was a cub, I was abandoning my plan because I knew it had become far too risky. 2 or 3 days after I made the video, sadly a person in Glacier National Park where I was actually died and was attacked by a mother grizzly bear when he got between the cub and the bear. So I knew that I had to abandon that point, and again, as I said before, there is no problem with abandoning a plan if it gets too risky. So, in summary, if you want to do something and you want to scare yourself a little bit at work, go ahead. But you need to have a plan. You need to make sure you're comfortable and that you believe in that plan. Secondly, it needs to be adaptable and achievable, and you have to make sure that you are willing to abandon it if you need to. Thirdly, it's got to be workable. There's got to be a good chance of it succeeding. So therefore, it needs to be objectively tested, objectively proven to be achievable. And fourthly, you need support. Support of a colleague, a manager, a coach, somebody who's going to assist you and debrief you and help you learn from it. And if it doesn't go quite according to plan, can help you and pick you up and get you ready for another time. So, it's all about pause. Thank you for watching.